Man, say man, we back at it again with another episode of the Real Behind the Ring. You did. Um, this episode is going to be called "Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself." My name is Jude, but anyways, in all seriousness, we're going to be talking about people's representatives. So basically, how you meet someone and the mask you put on, or the way you act. We all got a representative. Let's keep it 1,000. But we're going to talk about how your representative can help you attract the right person, or it can help you attract the wrong person. Maybe sometimes you say, well, dang, why do I keep ending up with this female? Or why do I keep ending up with this same type of guy? And it may be because of your representative. But I'm going to let my baby jump into it, and then we're just going to go back and forth, and we hope y'all enjoy it.
All right, so we talking about real versus fake. This is the real behind the ring. So basically, this whole topic came up because we were sitting down and we were looking at something on social media, and somebody was talking about how they had a great first year and then things started to go bad in their relationship. And we were just talking back and forth with each other, and we were like, well, things was opposite for us because we had a crazy beginning and now things just get better. So we had it hard in the beginning, and then now we're entering into our honeymoon phase, and we were basically just going back and forth saying, well, you know what, that's probably because people weren't being their real selves. So these people who have an amazing beginning of a relationship and then start to have problems probably didn't go into the relationship being real. They probably let the person meet their representative, and then as time went on, let the guards down, their real self came out, and then the two real people realized, okay, we might not mesh as well as we thought we did. So for us, it was totally opposite because we basically went into it and said, hey, this is me. This is the worst part of me. And basically, if you can handle this, then we can be together. And, you're either going to take me as I am, or you're not going to have nothing at all. And I knew the worst parts of him. He knew the worst parts of me. And we decided, you know what, we could deal with that. And so we were able to enter into a relationship, and now things are just constantly getting better because we went into it without mask on in our representatives.
And it wasn't easy. So we're saying that and we're making it seem like, oh, we just accept it. No, like it was a lot of fussing, a lot of yelling, a lot of arguing,
a lot of tears.
Yeah, it was a lot of arguing, point blank period. So we're not making it seem like, oh, she said the worst parts of her, I said the worst parts of me, and it was cool. Now, it was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know if I want to do this. Mm-hmm. But after prayer, after communication, talking with one another, we said, you know what, we understand because of life's trials and tribulations and life in general that it ain't greener on the other side. So we understand that pretty much we the best person that we can have. Like, it ain't no better.
And in addition to that, just to add, everybody has a past. So definitely want to just go ahead and say it doesn't matter how dirty or how bad your past may be, there is somebody out there for you that will accept you for that. Because I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people put the mask on in the first place, because they don't want people to know the bad parts of themselves. And that was what I did in the past, like trying to attract men that I thought were, look good or whatever, or thought that they had something that I wanted. So I was putting out what I thought they would be attracted to. But in the end, those men ended up being the wrong men for me because they weren't what my real self needed to attract. And if you look at the shirt I have on, it says, "You have permission." This is a shirt that was made by our First Lady at church. And on the back of it, it says, "To be the God created you," meaning you have permission to be your true, authentic self, who you were always created to be. And I just want to let you guys know there is somebody out there for you that will take you just the way that you are.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, the biggest thing that she said about it is, I used to always ask, why do females look and say they know I'm a good guy, but I'm too good to be true? They would say, or it just don't add up. And my wife even told me when she met me, she was confused because you would see me and I'm intelligent. I was raised by a great family, and I don't try to act in a certain way that I'm not, but the way I dress, I've always had a certain type of swagger about myself and confidence. And that swagger and confidence can come off as if I'm something else that I'm not. And women that have dealt with the guy who was rough around the edges or something of that nature, and then they would look at me, they would be like, nah, you probably just like this dude I know. You light skinned, you this, you that, and they would judge me.
He wore golds in his mouth.
Well, I had bottoms, but anyways, I mean it
He had a grill.
it all boils. Shoot, I still got in the room, but anyway, it still boils down to having a certain representation of yourself. Even though I feel like if I'm speaking to you in a intelligent way, it don't matter the way I look. Look at what I'm saying, and that's not the way life works.
Because actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So you hear something, but what you see in front of you, you tend to believe more. So
yeah, and I mean even with women, you know, a woman, if you come dressed a certain type of way and you look a certain type of way, you're gonna always attract a certain type of guy, or you're gonna attract all types of guys with the same, all different types of guys with the same mindset. So you might attract a good guy, but he don't treat you good. You might attract the bad guy. He bad, so he's not gonna treat you good. So understand the type of person that you bring to people needs to be your genuine self, because then if somebody, you might say, well, they might not like me. If they don't like you, then that's good. You just saved yourself
they're not for you.
2 years. You just saved yourself 2 years for being yourself, because the person who you knew wouldn't like you for you didn't like you for you in the beginning. Instead of 2 years down the road, whenever he say he gonna propose to you, and he ended up leaving you because he found out you don't know. Yeah, you ain't know how to cook. You was bringing Popeyes in the doggone kitchen and dressing it up on the plate and taking pictures, trying to sell Popeye plates, man.
No, but you know what? Just to add to that, what he was saying about they ended up leaving you in the end anyway because they found out who you really were and you saved yourself a lot of time. I can tell you right now, it is nothing worse than trying to be something that you are not. Because whatever facade you go into the relationship with, if that's who that person likes, as soon as you switch up the game and start being your real self, y'all are going to have problems and it may not end up working. And so that's just my whole little piece of advice. Go into it being yourself, because at the end of the day, you're either going to end up not making it in the end because your real self and his real self is not going to mesh well together, or you're going to live a life being fake. You're going to live a life putting on a facade, and in the end you're going to start feeling resentment because you're never going to be able to be your real self, and you're going to lose yourself in the relationship and be miserable.
Yep. So, and for the people, the last note on it, for the people who are going through arguments and you know it's rough because you're telling people, hey, this is what I used to do, this is the type of person I am, this is where I'm trying to go, and maybe somebody can't understand why you would ever do something that you've done in the past or any of that. If you face those things head on and you pray about them and you deal with them, yes, it's going to hurt, and yes, you're going to have back in your head like, what? Why do you do that? Mm-hmm. But once you get over it, and I promise you, you will, once you get over it, you're going to say, man, this is the best thing ever, because now I can live out the 70 plus years of my marriage, the rest of my life, knowing that I know every bad thing about my wife or her husband. We don't have any more secrets.
Yep.
So, and the reason why I can say that, you might say, y'all gotta have something. No,
we really don't.
We didn't hash it out. Like, we went through it. Like, we done had some times, and nobody knew about it because we didn't tell family, we didn't tell friends, and we keep people out of our business.
Yeah.
And as long as you do that, you deal with your situations, you don't look at the Joneses and try to be like them, then you're gonna be fine, and keep God first.
Keep God first.
So
yeah, that's what we want to talk about today. And I just want to bring it back to one thing he was talking about, type of dress, how you can attract certain type of people based on the way that you dress. We are going to actually do a video about that later. We're not going to post it probably for a couple weeks because we want to, really make sure what we're saying is right. But we definitely want to talk about the way you dress and the type of attention you attract from that. So please be on the lookout for that as well.
I got some hot stuff for you, man.
He gonna make you mad because he makes me mad with this topic,
y'all. I'm about to stand up for the fellas on this one. You know, come back. I'm finna make all the fellas proud.
And all the females mad.
Hey, we gonna have our voice today. We gonna fool around and shoot it today. Hey, man, I gotta talk to my baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we gonna holler at y'all later. Y'all be blessed.